U.S. Zimbabwe, Relations on Independence Day. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Today, we discuss U.S. Zimbabwe relations as America's Foreign Affairs Minister, Antony Blinken, extends his congratulations to Zimbabwe on their Independence Day. Mr. Blinken highlighted the United States' willingness to work with Zimbabwe, especially in strengthening democracy and human rights. U.S. political analyst, yes, Antony Blinken's statement marks an important note of diplomatic engagement. Since the sanctions on Zimbabwe were lifted, the U.S. has maintained a keen interest in the country's progress on these fronts. Mr. Blinken's message underscores a clear intention of the United States to foster a relationship built on these critical values. Interesting point. However, not everyone seems to be on the same page regarding this approach. African politics expert, that's correct. A ZANU-PF official responded quite critically to Mr. Blinken's remarks. The official emphasized that Zimbabwe has its own way of practicing democracy, rooted deeply in its struggle for independence. This indicates a resistance to what they perceive as external pressure on how democracy should function within their borders. It seems like there's a clash of perspectives here. How significant is this for the relationship between the two countries? U.S. political analyst, well, it is quite significant. Antony Blinken and the U.S. government's approach seeks to promote a universal standard for human rights and democratic governance, which they believe aids in the stability and development of nations. However, the pushback from Zimbabwe suggests a different view on sovereignty and national identity. African politics expert, exactly, and this is not a new theme in U.S.-Africa relations. Many African countries, Zimbabwe included, often view these calls for democratic reforms as veiled attempts at influencing domestic politics. The ZANU-PF official's remarks are indicative of a broader skepticism that exists towards Western involvement in African governance. Host, with these contrasting views, what could be the future of diplomatic relations between the United States and Zimbabwe? U.S. political analyst, moving forward, it's crucial for dialogues to continue. Antony Blinken's approach could evolve into one that respects Zimbabwe's historical and cultural contexts while still promoting fundamental human rights. Finding common ground is key. African politics expert, and from Zimbabwe's standpoint, engaging with the United States could bring various benefits, including economic support. However, it's vital for them to assert their own model of governance and democracy to maintain national unity and pride. It certainly sounds like a delicate balancing act for both nations. Thank you both for your insights today. Antony Blinken's congratulatory message on Zimbabwe's Independence Day indeed opens up many layers of discussion on democracy, human rights, and international cooperation. Let's hope both nations find a path to mutual understanding and respect.